Today, I will show you how to define intermittent dosing regimens using the repeat option. Intermittent dosing with periods on treatment and periods off are useful to mitigate toxicities. In Simulx, when defining a new treatment, you can use the repeat option to repeat the base pattern defined here several times. This option is available when defining the base pattern using the regular tab or the manual tab. Let's take a concrete example. I have a model for sunitinib, which is a chemotherapeutic agent, and a possible dosing regimen for this drug is 50 mg once daily for 2 weeks, followed by 1 week off, and then starting again. On the timeline here, the black ticks indicate the dosing times, and the ticks in light gray the days off. The base pattern that is repeated lasts 3 weeks, and this is what I will define first in the blue rectangle here as a regular schedule. First, the start time is 0, then the interdose interval is every 1 day. In the base unit here, I have in total 14 doses. This is what I indicate here, and the amount of each dose is 50 mg indicated here. I then want to repeat this base pattern. For this, I tick the repeat tick box here. I then need to define the periodicity of the repetitions. This is done by giving the cycle duration, so here 21 days, 3 weeks. Note that the days off are implicitly defined by the number of doses, 14, and the cycle duration. And finally, I need to indicate how many repetitions I want. Here I have 2 repetitions in addition to the base pattern, so I indicate 2 here. The interdose interval and the cycle duration have units of time, and they need to be consistent with the units of the population or individual parameters I am using. So if my clearance is in ml per day, here the time unit is days, so I can use 1 day and 21 days. On the opposite, if my clearance is in ml per hours, then I need to use hours here, with an interdose interval of 24 hours and a cycle duration of 504 hours. Back to the graphical user interface, the elements that I have just created as on the slides can then be used in the exploration or the simulation tab. Here, for instance, in the exploration, I can see that the concentration reaches steady state during the 2 weeks on, and then goes back almost to 0 during the week off, and then we start again. If in the base unit the interdose intervals or the amounts are not always the same, I can define the base pattern using the manual tab. This is what I have done in this example here, where I have defined a dosing with 1 week on, then 1 week off, and we have a loading dose. If I check this element, I have defined it using the manual tab, and I have indicated 1 line for each dose of the base unit. The 2 first one on time 0 and 24 hours have a loading dose of 100, and then the following ones have an amount of 50. I have in total 7 doses that are repeated every 336 hours, so every 2 weeks. We have more examples on our online documentation. Have a nice week!